Your dog has licked your face, probably thousands of times. And every time, you've called it the same thing. Affection, a greeting. Just something dogs do. It's warm, it's immediate, and it seems obvious enough that most people never look past it. But the location of the lick is not random. The timing is not random. And the fact that it happens more in certain moments, when you walk through the door, when you've been crying, when you've just woken up, is not random either. Each of those details is a choice the dog is making, and each one is communicating something different. There is one finding in particular about what your dog is actually reading off your skin when they lick you, not your expression, not your tone of voice, something more chemically precise than either of those. And it reframes this behavior entirely. We'll get there, but to understand it, you have to start much further back than you'd expect. The behavior did not begin as affection. In wolf packs, puppies returning to the den after a period of separation will lick the corners of an adult's mouth, specifically the area around the lips and chin, to trigger regurgitation of partially digested food. It is a feeding mechanism. Canid ethologists studying wolf pack behavior across multiple species have documented this consistently. The mouth lick, directed upward at a returning adult, is among the earliest social behaviors a pup performs, and it works. But the behavior does not disappear when the pup matures. In adult wolves, the same gesture is redirected. It becomes a submissive appeasement signal directed at dominant pack members, a way of saying, without sound or posture alone, that the approaching animal is not a threat, that the social bond is intact, that contact is being requested rather than forced. The food is gone. The grammar remains. When a dog licks the area around your mouth, they are drawing on that same ancient grammar. That's not enthusiasm running ahead of them. That's a gesture with roots older than domestication, encoded across thousands of years of canid social life. The warmth you feel when it happens is real, but the behavior underneath it is running a much older program, one that reads, in its original language, as acknowledgement, as non-threat, as connection being actively maintained. Now here is where it becomes more specific. A dog's olfactory system contains approximately 300 million scent receptors, compared to 6 million in humans. The portion of their brain dedicated to processing that input is proportionally larger than in any other sense. Research from Alexandra Horowitz's Dog Cognition Lab at Barnard College has established that dogs navigate and interpret their social world primarily through chemical information. Scent is not supplementary to how they read a situation. It is the primary channel. What this means in practice is that when your dog moves toward your face, they are not mainly looking at you. They are reading you. Your skin carries chemical information, salt concentration, hormonal byproducts, traces of what your body has been doing internally, and your dog is actively sampling it. What they taste is a report on your internal state that is more current and more granular than anything your expression or posture is giving them. This is also why the location of the lick is not interchangeable. The area around the mouth and chin is not the same as the cheek, which is not the same as the forehead. Each zone carries different concentrations of different secretions. A dog targeting the corner of your mouth is running a different behavioral read than a dog pressing their nose to your temple. The behavior looks identical from the outside. It is not identical from the inside. Your dog is not going to wherever is nearest. They are going to wherever the information is clearest. Location tells you what the dog is reading. Timing tells you what they are responding to. And the timing of face licking in bonded dogs follows a pattern that most owners have registered without ever examining it directly. The behavior clusters around moments of transition, when you walk in after being away, when the emotional atmosphere in the room shifts, when you move from activity to stillness. Most owners attribute this to excitement, high energy, physical greeting, the dog's enthusiasm outpacing their own coordination. But research from the Clever Dog Lab at the University of Vienna has documented that bonded dogs orient toward their owners faster, approach more closely, and initiate more contact behaviors, specifically in response to human emotional distress, than in neutral or positive conditions. The response is not uniform across emotional states. it discriminates. The dog is not simply more activated when you are more activated. They are responding to something different in kind, not just in degree, which brings us to what the behavior actually is, and to the finding I mentioned at the start. Your skin, particularly around the face and neck, carries cortisol. Cortisol is the primary stress hormone your body produces, and it is present in sweat and surface secretions in concentrations that shift with your internal state. In 2019, researchers at Linköping University in Sweden measured long-term cortisol levels in dog owner pairs, not the spike of a single stressful moment, but slow hormonal accumulation captured in hair samples reflecting weeks of biological history. What they found was that the levels were synchronized. Stressed owner, stressed dog. Calm owner, calm dog. And when they examined the directionality of that relationship, which one was driving the other, the owner's cortisol was predicting the dog's, not the reverse. Think about what that means. Your dog has not been responding to your face. They have been tracking your hormonal state across months of shared life, and their own stress system has been calibrating itself against yours. When they lick your face in a hard moment, when you are quiet, when you are still, when you have been crying, they are making contact with a chemical signal they have already been monitoring. The lick is not decoration. It is directed. Whether this constitutes genuine, caregiving behavior or a stress response to their own mirroring cortisol is a question the research has not fully settled. But the directionality is not ambiguous. They are responding to something real on your skin, with the oldest contact behavior in their repertoire. This changes how you should think about what happens next, specifically, how you respond. Applied behavior analysis research on canine conditioning has established that behaviors reinforced during specific physiological states in the owner become more likely to recur during those same states. When you allow or encourage face licking in moments of emotional distress, pulling the dog closer, laughing, letting it continue, you are not simply receiving warmth. You are shaping the behavior. The dog learns to associate your stress chemistry with this specific response. That is not harmful, but it is not accidental either. You are training what the behavior means, and when it appears, whether you intend to or not. And for some dogs, that loop escalates. Veterinary behaviorists have documented that repetitive licking of human skin, when it extends well beyond typical greeting or contact behavior, can function as a self-soothing mechanism under chronic stress. The behavior shifting from social signal to coping strategy. A dog who licks compulsively is not communicating something richer. They are communicating something harder. The behavior has moved from reading you to managing themselves. Most dogs are nowhere near that threshold, but knowing the difference matters because it changes what the behavior needs from you. Pull the full arc together, and this is what you have. A gesture that began as food solicitation in wolf pups became a submissive appeasement signal in adult canids, was carried into domestication, and then, across thousands of years of living at close quarters with humans, became something more precise. A chemical reading, a stress monitor, a contact behavior directed not at your mood in the general sense, but at specific hormonal information your skin has been broadcasting the entire time. The behavior that looked like enthusiasm was a greeting with roots older than any breed. The behavior that looked like affection was a real-time biological read. The behavior that seemed to come from nowhere, on the days when nothing obviously triggered it, was responding to something that had been accumulating in both of you for weeks. Your dog is not just expressing something vague when they lick your face. They are doing something specific, reading you, responding to you, and making contact with something real in the only behavioral language available to them. The next time it happens, the question worth asking is not whether they love you. It is what exactly they have noticed. If you want to understand what your dog is actually doing when they hold your gaze, and why the neuroscience behind that look is unlike anything else documented between two different species, that's the next video.